morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show, Wise Up, Rise Up Show with me, your host, Danny Wallace. Look, there's a shit weather map. If anybody ever wonders why I have like a weather map behind me, is because when I first started the show, Wise Up, Rise Up Show back in lockdown, one of the things that I used to ask everybody first thing in the morning was, what's the weather doing where you are? And for the whole of the summer, we've actually been quite lucky that it's just been dead nice. It's been scorchio. And for all I keep promising myself, new bee magnets, there's normally sort of 3 types of bee. I wonder if I can show you. We've normally got a scorchio bee, a sunshiny bee like this. We've normally got a rainy bee. Can't find me rainy bee. And then an atypical UK weather bee, which is like that. It's a bit shit. Which is, if you are from the UK, you will know that we do like to make small talk about the weather. Oh, what's the weather like where you are? You know, when I speak to my mum-in-law, she lives in Kent. The first thing she always goes is, oh, what's the weather doing where you are? It's a big connector for us here in the UK. Is the weather, and in England particularly, the general consensus for, I would say, 70% of the year is it's just a bit shit. It's just a bit shit. It's just a bit grey and it's a bit drizzly and it's a bit but it isn't a bit in here today because it is Wise Up Wednesday. There are 3 sections to the week: showing up, wising up, and rising up. At the beginning of the week, we set our intentions together. In the middle of the week, we wise up together. We learn the things that we need to learn to move the needle forward. And on a Friday, we get in here and celebrate all the things that we've achieved, small or large, big or little, massive or minuscule. We get on in here and we celebrate together. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. As ever, we are wising up today, and today I wanted to talk to you whilst I put my makeup on and get ready for work. I wanted to talk to you about September, because September it feels like a new year. It does, doesn't it? So for the kids, it feels like a new year. Like this is the kids' January, really. Like we think about January, like new year, new starts, all of that sort of stuff. But increasingly so, September definitely feels like it's a new year. People are feeling a little bit fresher, a bit more invigorated as the kids have gone back to school. All of a sudden they've got bandwidth to think again. I mean, it's a revelation, right? But because of that, and especially in the online space, it means that people have got capacity again to think about where their growth requirements are, where their investment requirements are, and also what their delivery capabilities are. So September becomes a launch month for lots and lots of people in the online space. So y'all buckle up. It's about to get really noisy. Which is fine. Like there are peaks and troughs and ebbs and flows in the year. Like, you know, if you think about in the holiday industry, for example, January is a very busy time. Easter's a very busy time. In the online space, it tends to be September is a very busy time. And January, February are very busy times. So what about you? Are you launching anything this month? Are you gearing up to do exciting, phenomenal, wonderful, sexy, gorgeous things this month that we need to know about? I would like to know. And then the other thing I like to know from you all, as we are sharing in this beautiful sharing community space, is what are your tips for standing out above the melee? For anybody that's interested in makeup, please know that for all I know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing. So don't judge whatever I'm putting on my face. If it doesn't look like the right shade, don't worry. I'll look great by the end of it. So I want to know, what are your top tips for standing out amongst the melee? If everybody is in sell mode, then where does that leave you? So there's a couple of things that I want you to consider as we are sort of really into, it's 7 days now into a whole week. I go like that because we've got Be Inspired at the end of this month. A whole week into September now. This whole train is not slowing down. It is getting faster. So there's a couple of things that we've got to do. One is breathe together. We've got to breathe. We've got to take stock. We've got to have a look, because you're about to be bombarded with lots of shiny things. And that's cool. And I'm dead excited. I'm dead excited for all the shiny things that you've been cooking up over over summer. I'm excited to hear about all the wonderful things that you're doing in all of your sectors. I can't wait to hear about it. But you are about to be bombarded with lots and lots of information, lots of shiny new objects, which is why I love when we launch Be Inspired the Mastermind in October after Be Inspired the event. Often the people that come and work with me don't treat Be Inspired like a shiny new object. They've watched it for a while. They might have been to a few of them, and they've really percolated on that idea of coming to work with me. And I love that, because it's a really considered choice. Don't get me wrong. I love those of you that press the fuck it button. I love those of you that come across it, God, you know what? No, I just need to do this. Like, I'm here for all of it. But the best clients I have, consider, like, think about, okay, what am I going to get out of this situation? How am I going to intentionally use this working with this person, this Danny Wallace, over the course of the next 6 months? What can she bring to the table for me? How can I see a return on investment? I don't just mean a financial return on investment. I mean like a habitual return on investment. What behaviors are you going to learn by working with these phenomenal mentors or engaging in these phenomenal things that you are going to do if you are going to invest at this time of year? So it is really, really, really important that you, yes, get excited, but take a little breather. It's good. So let's have a look. What are you all saying? Jules, I pressed the fuck it button and glad I did. I met the most awesome people. And one of the brilliant things about Be Inspired is the collaborations and the potential that comes off of the back of it. So if you come to work with me and think, right, I'm going to work with Danny and then I'm going to get loads of paid gigs, that is a possibility. And there are lots of my previous clients that are out there now that are on the speaking circuit. They're doing incredible things. But if I look at Jules Kelly and I look at Claire Morton, for example, they're now collaborating. And they've kind of joined their superpowers together to create like a retreat situation. Go and check that out, by the way. I am devastated. I can't make it in November. But if you are looking for a retreat in November, there's some sexy ones out. There's the Sweet Retreat with Jojo Smith from Creative Sass. Jodie Salt has a retreat situation going on where you can go abroad. There's Claire Morton and Jules. That are running retreats together, as just combining superpowers becomes incredible. So having to think intentionally, some of the things you get out of doing these things aren't the things that you originally thought you were signing up for, which I always find dead exciting. So to see my former clients collaborating, rising up, linking arms, festooning, making money together, doing incredible things, it just makes me happy. We're launching Space and Freedom. Yes. So a retreat space whereby you can start to unlock what freedom looks like for you. I'm excited for in-person events. Who's this over on LinkedIn? Me too. There are loads of them. So we've got one Manifest coming up next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. We're going to be going over to Cheshire. Run by the fantastic Joe Salt, and there is all sorts to get involved with. A real festival situation. You can hire like afternoon tea domes. There's walking on glass, like glass walks. There's cold water dips, as well as a full roster of entertainment and phenomenal talks. Just brilliant. Thank you. I'm so glad that you were a part of Be Inspired last year as well, and the friendships and the and the collaborations and the networks that we form off the back of it is brilliant. And what we've done this time is we've taken that and everything that I've learned from the past 6 Be Inspired, and we have amped it up. We have turned up the volume on what we can achieve together, working with global brands, working with social media platforms, working with networks and councils and government to really strengthen that phenomenal network that we've created for IATQB. So for those of you that have had Be Inspired on their vision board, just know that it's juicy now. It's even juicier than it always was. Jules, yes. Jules Joe Fisher and I have an additional company from Meeting Through Be Inspired, right? With unlimited potential. So how incredible when you start to learn about taking up space, learning how to amplify your mission and your message, just how impactful that could be. And not only impactful, how much more influence you can have, how much more income you can generate. And generating the income, not just getting paid to speak. That's all. That's glitter. That's glitter on top. But understanding how to utilize events, understanding how to utilize networks and audiences so that you are instantly recognizable as the person, the go-to person to do what it is that you do. And that is what Be Inspired is all about. So helping people do that is my jam. Helping people take up space is my jam. And taking up space is for if you are selling things this month, something that you are going to have to consider. How do you pop your head above the parapet and say, hey, I am the one that you want to come and learn with. I am the one that you want to come and invest with. So what I want to ask you this morning is, what things are you doing that is allowing yourself to be seen? So me, I am networking like an absolute demon. I am actively joining networks. I am liaising with chambers of commerce. I am adding value to these networks. I'm making sure that my diary has space for events, because one of my superpowers is that when you hear me talk about the things that I'm doing, it just makes sense. You can see it. You can sense my passion. You can feel my excitement about all the things that I'm creating. It becomes delicious. It becomes infectious. It becomes, hey, do you know what? I can see that Danny Wallace has got a little bit of something going on. That's something I definitely want to be a part of. Let me work out how. So networking for me is really, really, really important. Going to events intentionally. Now, I spoke about this not so long back. Intentional attendance, not just going to events and thinking, oh, it's going to be really nice to go to that event. I'm going to learn lots. Because what you're doing there is you're turning up intake. I'm going to meet this person. I'm going to meet that person. But actually, going with the intention to give value, to help, and also to connect, and know that this doesn't happen overnight. Know that the seeds that you sow now might not even help this particular launch for you. That doesn't feel sexy, does it? I want to say something sexier to you than that, but I'm not gonna. I'll say some sexy stuff in a minute. The sexy bit is that allowing yourself to go to these will start to accelerate. It's like compound interest. When you start to network and you start to share your story and you start to articulate the things that you do, that you feel that you're passionate about, the things that you give a shit about, and not just the, hey, this is the program that I'm selling and what we'll do for you is this, this, and this. This is, hey, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm an expert in my field because I've thrown myself into learning the ins and outs, the backs, the fronts, the ups, the downs of this. And therefore, I am an expert now, and I'm going to give it my all to make sure that everything that you engage in with me, where it comes to the thing that I am passionate about, you are going to get value out of. All of a sudden, you have no clue what I'm selling, but you're in. How weird is that? So networking is the thing that even if you are selling something right now, that's okay, but you can't network with that being the intention. Sometimes you have to, and I get it. And sometimes I've had to, right? It's understandable. But if you turn up in a room and the sole intention is to sell the thing that you're selling right now, you're going to shit out because everyone will see you're Elmer Fudd hunting wabbits. And you don't want to be hunting no wabbits. Nobody wants to be a wabbit. What they want is they want to know who you know. They want to know how you can add value to them. They want to know if you're a potential investor for them as well, right? They're feeling you out. So what you've got to work out is, how do I not be friend zoned straight away? So adding value, making sure you're being really clear about the things that you are offering. And then no Wallace Wabbits. No, absolutely not. I don't know why I was Scottish for that one, but I was. So making sure that you're not kind of hunting, but you are gathering. I've spoke about my Pokemon ball loads in the past. I've not spoke about it enough of late, but my network is like a Pokemon ball, and I'm Ash, and I go around to different tournaments or networking groups or events, and I'll look at the roster, I'll look who's in the room, and I'll go, I choose you. And then they're a part of my network. But not only that, I'll look after that person. I'll make sure I connect them with the people that I know. I'll make sure that, I'm adding value there. And for everybody watching right now, fine well, I choose you. Absolutely. So how do we stand out? How are we standing out? Going to events, making sure you're nurturing, make sure you're not hunting, making sure you're connecting. How's that going to help you right now? Bit difficult. If you're selling something right now, I've just said, well, you need to network. You definitely need to network. It's going to help you next launch. Well done. I'm launching something this month. What the fuck? Speaking about what it is that you do consistently, adding value, and also something I forgot about for ages, but definitely necessary. I want to make sure I get this incredible lady's name correct. Give me one sec. I went to a brilliant event last month. Bushra Azar talks about pain signaling. Now, a lot of what we do when we're selling is we often sell the dream and not the dread, because we don't want to. I don't want to sell the dread instead of the dream. I want to sell you the dream. I want to tell you the good shit that happens. You see all the good shit that I do, right? I want to tell you that. I want to tell you about all the good stuff. However, hang on, wait. The human psyche, the biological bit of us, the limbic animalistic bit of us, runs away from fear more easily because of our survival instinct, runs away from fear more easily than it does run towards pleasure. We are pleasure-seeking beings, but we are animals who need to survive. So there needs to be a mixture of, here are the good things that can happen when you work with me, but also if you don't work with me, or if you don't engage, no matter if you work with, like, even where I'm concerned, it doesn't even matter if you don't work with me, I still want you to speak about your business. I'm still going to, in October, provide you with a free bootcamp that you can take part in, that people do time and time again, every 6 months, to check in with themselves for free, and they never invest with me, and I am not bothered, because as long as they're speaking about their business, they're doing the right thing. And they might find another speaking coach that resonates with them so much better than I. And I understand that so implicitly, so well, that I've got a little in my pocket, in my Pokemon ball, some brilliant speaking coaches who, if I'm not a fit for, I can say, right, well, you want to go and check out my mate Mike Ganino, for example. You want to check out my girl Catherine Sandon, for example. So there are people who I know in my industry. I'm not frightened. I just know the pain of not doing this. I know the pain of not amplifying yourself. I know that if you don't talk about your business, if you don't start to utilize social media well in a way that you are articulating what it is that you do, how you help, why you give a shit, what's the danger of not doing the thing that you do? Another danger of that is that you are not going to help the people that you want to help. So this is a pep talk this morning. But if you are selling something this month more than any other month, then you need to allow yourself to take up space. Yes, tell them about all the good things. Don't be frightened about telling them if they don't do this, there are potential implications. Like, I have no problem at all saying right now, because I genuinely believe it with a fiery passion, that when you are looking into the mouth of the lion, into a gaping recession or whatever it is that social media or the media are trying to sell and peddle to us to keep us fearful right now, if you are not forward thinking, seeking opportunity, if you are not taking up space, you're going to be fucked. So we collectively have got to understand very, very quickly, what is confidence? How do we become confident then in this space? I'm so scared. We are surrounded by fear. How do we be the lighthouse right now? And you've got to understand and care so viciously and vehemently that what it is that you do is helpful to somebody, is going to help them in these situations, that it becomes compelling to be a part of what it is that you do and that you share and that you sell. And Natalie makes a really valid point here. There's a difference to triggering fear and helping them recognize they can improve or tackle those difficulties they're having to, yes, they're having to give them a better quality of life. Absolutely. It is about helping them. Yes, it is about helping them. I don't know anybody in business. Well, some people, the shiesty ones, who are only doing what they're doing for money. They will be doing what they're doing in order to generate a profit and in order to get paid and in order to create a life that they want, for sure. But for the most part, the majority of people in business want to help, and we've got to connect in with that. So then if we're connecting in with that, it's all right, I'm going to turn up and help, but we've got to make sure that we're not a hindrance, yeah? So we've got to be very, very clear that we are here to help. It'd be like me. So I don't do any of like the graphic design or anything for IATQB. That's definitely Wallace's area of expertise. That's his role within the business. That's what he does. Now then, I know right now, we have got as a team a lot of design work to complete within the next 2 weeks in order to have everything ready for Be Inspired at the end of this month. Lots of design work on. Now, I could be very helpful and say, well, Wallace, I did PowerPoint when I were at school for a minute, when I paid attention and when I turned up. I could definitely throw some PowerPoints together. But actually, I'm going to become a hindrance and not a help, because he is going to have to redo everything that I do, because it will invariably be shit, because I'm not an expert in it, and that doesn't make me helpful. However, if somebody says, like, next week is One Manifest, right? It's a huge lineup of phenomenal speakers. I can add value to the majority of people that are there by, if they want to check in with me, for example, beforehand, I can say, hey, do you know what? You might want to tweak this a little bit, or have you thought about doing this a little bit differently? I can help them amplify their mission and their business and their message by doing that. We do that as part of Be Inspired. I'm helpful in that situation. And what you've got to understand is, are you being helpful? Okay, so yes, what is the problem that you are fixing? So Wallace's problem, it's not a problem because it's under control, but Wallace's problem is that he's got a lot of design work to do. Me going in to go and help with that isn't very helpful. Me helping isn't very helpful. So it's pointless me saying, oh, well, you know, that's something I can help you with. Be very, very clear on how you help and what you want the outcomes to be for that person, what problems they're facing, and being able to share that really consistently. And this is your quarterly reminder that sub 60-second pre-recorded videos are dead good, and you can cross-pollinate them across your social media. Sub 60-second videos. I'm no social media trainer. I would go and follow the likes of the phenomenal Sam Barefoot, particularly in the realms of TikTok, for that sort of thing, or go and follow Inga Hunter is a brilliant person to follow from a social media perspective. They know far more than me in that particular realm. But what I do know is, if you are sharing a problem and fixing a problem, giving a tip or sharing what you do in sub 60-second pre-recorded videos, your algorithm will be super strong, even if you cross-pollinate them. So what you can do is you can go onto TikTok and pop it on TikTok. You can go onto Instagram and you can pop it on not only on your grid, but on Reels and on your story. LinkedIn, you know, little short, easy. I know we're streaming over on LinkedIn right now. Let me know if you're watching over on LinkedIn. I know we saw Jordan and we saw Kate over there a little bit ago. That you can cross-pollinate. So one of the ways to stand out right now, even though it feels like in the online space that every bugger's doing it, I swear to God they're not. these sub 60-second pre-records, how you give value, what is the pain, what is the solution, how do you provide help, how do you provide value, what's something funny that you can share, what's an experience, what's the testimonial that you can share. That is how you stand out right now. Not by hiding, not by procrastinating, not by looking to the left and the right of you and going, oh, well, he's launching this and I can't do that. Oh, well, they're launching this, I can't do that. She's launching this, I can't do that. Bollocks to it. Get your blinkers on and show the fuck up. Again, I wish it was sexier than that. But as long as you are mixing a bit of selling the dream and the good bits and a bit of selling the dread, which is the pain that you're feeling, because you've got to identify the pain within them. And then identifying how you give value and giving them some value that they can maybe take away and learn real quick, or some testimonials, some proof that you've actually helped people in this particular field before. Then you will already be more visible than the majority of anybody else that's launching right now. Allow yourself to show the fuck up, please. Please, please, please. Lord, I need this today because just scrapped a big workshop launch, but still need people to join my course by the end of this month. Right. Showing up. Please, thank you. Good morning, Kate Blake, watching over on LinkedIn. Cheers to you, my darling. I just want to shout out my incredible friend, Olympian Marilyn Okoro, who bought me this as a present at Last Be Inspired. And it's one of my favorite cups. It's one of them. It's shaped ergonomically like a cuddle. Like holding it like that makes me feel lovely. That was a squirrel. Sorry about that. Nat, what you're saying was just writing a heap of tips on these so I can actually batch a heap of these. Brilliant. Yes, Anne. Yeah, that was me. I saw you. Yeah, about the course launch I scrapped. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's make a commitment to each other this month. If you are taking something to market, if you are launching something, we need you to show up. We need you to tell us what it is that you're doing. Not just, hey, buy my stuff, look, I'm launching this thing, hey, buy my stuff. But tell us about what it is that you're doing. Tell us about why you give a shit. Tell us the story of how you came to do it. Tell us the exciting things that we can do to get involved. Tell us what's going to happen if we don't. And I don't mean, oh, you're going to die or you're going to lose loads of money. But a little bit of that pain signaling is going to be necessary. And I tell you, he's an absolute queen at sharing that, is Bushra Azar. Please do go and check her out. She's phenomenal. And she has a brilliant system for bringing things out to market. Other people that I would suggest that you check out, there's some free workshops happening over the course of the next few weeks from Lisa Johnson is teaching you about taking things to market and selling stuff. Charlie Day, another great sales coach out there. Deep Bajwa, particularly if you are elevating your proposition into a more luxury, higher end market. There are loads of phenomenal people you can follow right now. You can follow and consume their content right now. It's going to help you show up. Me, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to lead from the front. I'm Boudicca going into battle. You guys are the arm, my sisters and brothers and siblings in arms, linking arms with me as we show up, wise up, and rise up together. So what I would love is if you are watching along this morning, this is your zone of genius, or this is something that you found that maybe is helpful, pop in the comments some top tips that you've got for showing the fuck up. Because sometimes it's time to pull your finger out. Sometimes it's time to stop learning and start just doing and allow yourself to start shit. Allow yourself to not hold yourself back anymore and just start up. Kate, I'm running up to yes, I knew you had this event coming up. My Woman in Fire Safety event with my lovely, very pregnant business partner. We have so much to do and running it around our full-time day jobs. Sometimes we're exhausted and have to push to show up, but we're so passionate to highlight the very important fire safety industry. So we show up. Yes, Kate Blake, absolutely. Jules, always be 100% authentic. Don't try and be anybody else. Great tip. Great tip. Start shit is my favorite one. Always I'll come back to start shit. I didn't start doing all of this and I was dead good at it. I started and I was just all right. I got a bit better, and now I'm dead good at it, and I'm only getting gooder at it because here is what I'm doing is sharpening my tools all the time, learning from the best in the industry, allowing myself to surround myself with the people I aspire to be like. But right now, this month, it's about you showing up. If you are wanting to make those sales, if you are wanting to do that income generating activity, if you want people to know what the fuck it is that you do, get to the events. Be intentional about being instantly recognizable. Show up and have conversations whereby you give value. You're not just there to take. How can you help that person? Ask questions. Gooder will come if you do it more. Yeah, absolutely. I was shit the first time I tied my shoelaces. Now I'm dead good at it. One of the big things for my loves, you're going to be stuck in the same position you are now. Your WordPress site is still going to be on your to-do list for another umpteen years. Right now, they could have it in the bag. Yes, absolutely. So that is the spirit we are entering into. That is the spirit we are entering into Wednesday. Intentional action. That is how we are going to stand out. There are big launches out there that do all kinds of crazy stuff. They have massive automations. They have big teams. They have Facebook ads. They have lots of stuff going on, lots of moving parts. And yes, when you scale, getting those things in place is definitely necessary, but not the only way to skin a cat. The majority, no, all. I think I had a dabble with Facebook ads 2 years ago and it just didn't work for me. Everything that I've created has been organic. It isn't for everybody, and it certainly isn't the sanest way to do it. But the reason why I'm saying that is that it can be done. That just because you can't sit there at the beginning of this month and go, I can't afford Facebook ads. I don't have an ads coach. I don't have a launch coach. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have the other. Start shit. Do it and then learn. Plan, do, review. Show up, wise up, rise up. Yeah. Turn up and do the thing. Learn what you need to do. Then go and do it again. But don't be frightened in the first instance of showing up. And this is what the Hive is all about. IATQB, the IATQB Hive. If you're not a member of it already, go and get on it in there. Share your successes, share your challenges. The idea is there is enough people in there to give you the support you need to give you the leg up. So for peeps in the future on the other side of the world, recommendations for peeps like I to network online is guesting the only other way. I think Natalie, for me, it's really choosing your networks wisely, making sure. So I feel like we're flooded with a Facebook online membership situation. And I think there's lots and lots and lots out there. Not all of them deliver. A very good one with a very broad network within it is Lisa Johnson's You Can Sit With Us. Another very good one with great content is Deep Badgewar's Elevate. Dawny Beth Baxter has a brilliant group. It's definitely worth being a part of. It isn't just guesting, just like being seen at speaking gigs and events isn't about you being on stage. The past 3 events I've been to, I've not been speaking on the stage, and I've still walked away knowing people, having helped people, and having people want to help me. So by allowing yourself to turn up in these active, so I would say choose your online stuff wisely, because you can spray and pray and it's not good. So you've got to allow yourself, recommendations and research and things like that, but then go and turn up and add value within the constraints of that community. Be consistent in those communities. Allow yourself to be the lighthouse on your social media and don't rely on other people's networks. Invest in the network, add value to the network. It isn't just about going to take from them. Collabs, yeah, absolutely, Natalie. Collaborations that Jojo's saying just here, collaborations are absolutely fantastic way to grow your audience. So finding like minds, people like you, maybe even people who've got a slightly bigger audience than you. You can do deals with each other, allow yourself. PR is another great way of doing it. Writing press releases, being reactive in the media. There's lots and lots of things that you can be doing. Being a part of the so Joe Swan has a PR You Can Do It group. Definitely worth going to check that out, both from a network perspective and also from a top tips and tricks to be seen out there. There are some great Facebook groups that you can step forward for. Absolutely, absolutely. Especially Nat for you, probably startup groups. Because often the first thing that they will need, or first thing that they will see, like envisage themselves that they require, is a website, and you're perfectly placed to help that. Right, my darlings. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope it's given you some fire in your belly, ready to go rip it up for the rest of this week and indeed the rest of the month. I will be back on Friday for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. In the meantime, there are just a couple of tickets left in the room for Be Inspired. If you have been hanging on and waiting to book your ticket, we are going to be turning people away very, very shortly. I don't want that person to be you. So if you've been hanging on, waiting to get your ticket to Be Inspired, sort it out. Go to imthequeenbee.co.uk. On there, you can click the frequently asked questions, and within there, you can see all the sponsorship opportunities as well. If you are wanting to exhibit, you only have until Friday to let me know and get yourself secured in, because we go to print for the program. So as part of the sponsorship and expo packages, you'll be featured in our program, and we'll need to get some stuff from you. So be quick, hurry up, sort yourselves out, and I will see you on Friday for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. Take care. I love you. Tra.